Hi guys, how you doing today?
Great.
So do you mind if we start by asking your name?
My name is London.
And I'm Sherman.
Great to meet you guys. So let's talk about your home buying experience so far. So before I met you guys had quite a lot of knowledge in regards to home buying. Do you mind to talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I've been on the journey for a while because I was looking at multis before we were actually looking together. And then, so I've been doing that for like 2 years. I've been under contract for a year. And then I decided that I just want something for myself right now and then to get back into the multis. But during that time, Sherm actually purchased.
So, beginning of pandemic, of course, my process has went all the way through and kind of got jumped right into the game with my first multi, so 3 family in East Orange. So through that process, there's a lot of ups and a lot of downs. So we both kind of been able to learn from each other's experiences and kind of bring that together and culminate to where we are now.
Okay. About why go for a multi-family? What was your strategy? Both of you were going for separate multi-families. So why did you go for that strategy as opposed to a single family?
Well, from my perspective, I wanted to go towards a multifamily as an opportunity to open more doors and in one opportunity. So, especially within the East Orange, New York area was an area that we were particularly looking into, looking for a space where we would be able to own a property, have some equity within that property, and then also allow our tenants help to pay for the mortgage while we're able to retain a profit for each door, and then kind of flip that into the next property. So just really starting that process of gaining wealth and doing it together.
Excellent. So you mentioned that you went through a house buying process before. Do you mind sharing a little bit about that in regards to, I always believe there's always a learning opportunity out of every situation. And that's my motto, to say that adversity is one of life's best teachers. So do you mind sharing like your kind of experience and how that's kind of shaped your mind and thinking?
Absolutely.
Yeah, no, mine was such a long journey. Didn't come to fruition, but so I started looking just at every kind of multi. There was none in particular, and throughout Newark and East Orange, and I landed on one in East Orange. They just the loan process combined with the seller, it just wasn't working out for me.
Okay.
So there were a lot of different learnings in that about, I guess, which loans to go for and which inspectors to choose.
Yep.
So.
Yep. So do you mind talking about that? So if you're on the other side of this video right now, and most people, when they're buying a home, they just like get a recommendation or I go into my local bank and that's it. And I always say to everyone that your team that you have around you, especially your bank, that's like the key denominator, and making sure that you have the right inspectors that you can trust and willing to educate you. How important, or what did you learn from that experience in regards to lending wise?
I think I can say one, I should have gone with his inspector for sure.
Okay.
Because he was just leaps and bounds knowledgeable, like pointing out everything, explaining it in detail. And then the one that I had was one that was designated by the bank.
Okay.
And he wasn't telling me anything until we got to the end, and I would find all these problems that I had to work through.
Oh, wow.
And then bring them back in.
Wow.
To not say anything else again, and then we're still working through, even more issues that come up. So definitely finding one who is a good communicator on the front end.
Yep.
Because yours was amazing.
Yeah, and I think what we took away from, we kind of went through two separate paths in that instance. So London was trying to use the NACA program, which is an amazing program, but there is a lot of hoops that one would have to jump through in order to make that process work. Whereas I ultimately tried to go through that process as well to begin with, but I started to realize and started to learn from what she was going through that in order to get to the market as quickly as possible, that probably is not going to be the best path, while the benefits are definitely worth it. So I went with a conventional loan, and I think that was the reason why I was able to actually get to the finish line. In that instance, where I put in sometimes a bigger down payment and pushing through with a conventional mortgage, and then, like you said, putting that team together, whereas it's the inspector, the lawyer, your agent, to just kind of get it done at the end of the day. And it still was a tough process, so all of that stuff matters.
Yeah, and for me, I didn't know any of that stuff. So I was really, the first time, my agent didn't have any information to give me apart from just opening the door. Didn't know the process in regards to inspectors, appraisals, and the first one I did was a 203K. So I had a HUD consultant, which I didn't know his capacity, so it was even more confusing. And then my HUD consultant, he was very nice when he was taking the money. And then as soon as I handed over the money, he became like our worst nightmare for myself and my wife. So you're absolutely right. When you're walking into it, you're not going to know those stuff. But if I didn't go through that bad experience then, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing now. So that's kind of how I looked at it. But it's fantastic that the both of you are collaborating in regards to building out your investment strategy. Because in a nutshell, your investment homes can pay for your single family home that you still live mortgage free.
Absolutely.
So that's a fantastic strategy, and I want to commend you for that, okay? Now, if you're on the other side of this video, what advice or what gems would you leave, or what information would you give to someone on the other end of this video?
Well, one thing to start with is through both of our processes, our experiences with going after our first properties, those experiences is what got us here, and is the reason why we wanted to work with you. To be honest, we've heard you speak, we listened to your approach, your processes that you have in place, and we understood what was missing from our first go around, and this was one of our steps forward to say, okay, these are the gaps in our first go around, and we want to get to that next level, and that's why we reached out to you. So what I would tell myself is, and it's an approach that we always go with. You don't know what you don't know, and always be going in looking for more knowledge, different ways to get the job done, and how to do things more efficiently, and just get better each round, each way through. So we're always willing to try new things and get more information in order to succeed. So that's always going to be our approach going forward.
Excellent. So how did you guys find me? I didn't ever ask you that. Like, how did you connect with me or my team?
I think it was a YouTube video.
Oh, really?
I think it was a YouTube or a Facebook video.
Okay.
And then I typed in the search bar on either one of those platforms, I can't remember, but your video popped up. And then from there, I went on to see that you were doing the tours.
Okay.
And then I got a text message when I signed up, and it was just like the processes.
Yeah.
I loved
Okay.
the succinctness of it. So it was
Yeah, she came back and told me, this guy's amazing, like we need to work with him. But we were actually still in the process of, getting trying to get our first property.
Yeah.
So and struggling through that, we had it in the back of our mind, the next step, we'd have to work with this guy or someone who is a bit more advanced and has a good way of balancing, things out in a more, systematic type of way to, get the job done.
Yeah.
So I thank you for that. 'Cause I think that I'm doing a bad job with this social media thing, and sometimes I'm like, what's the
It works,
point?
man. You just gotta put it into the world, and
Yeah.
the right people will find it.
Oh, I didn't know that. So that helps me today. Okay, that's fantastic. So I want to say thank you very much for like really trusting me with your real estate needs. And like I said, I commend you for what you're doing. I'm enjoying working with you. Does it help having my team surrounding you to kind of be, some people don't like when I've got the interactive guys around them, but for me, I like to get like information as quickly as possible. How do you like the team around you in regards to you don't have to go through me to get what you want and you've got other people supporting you through the transaction? Does that work for you?
Yeah, I think that's hugely important for us to kind of have that instant comeback. Sometimes in understanding that, you're not available sometimes, we know that we can call on those other folks and they're just as capable of getting us that information or connecting with you to get it. So, I like instant gratification. So that works for me.
All right, but we're going to improve on that because I saw a delay the other day, so I'm going to improve on that, okay? But thank you very much for your time, and I'm looking forward to helping you guys, okay?
Absolutely.
Take care.
Thank you.
Thank
That
you.
was